So we're traveling through Stackmon now, which is the home of the main campus of EVE University, whose wiki we've been referencing frequently. They're a great learning corp, and a ton of new players tend to collect in Stackmon, which means a ton of older players tend to collect in the low-sec systems around here to prey on the newer players. We're going to be passing through that dangerous bit of space, but our actual destination is beyond the sort of danger zone around Stackmon. It's really Stackmon, Ostengel, and then the route out to the EVE University Nullsec campus in PC 9TAC, but we're going in the opposite direction. Oh, I think there's an incursion in the next system. The incursion rats will gate camp in incursion systems. So they'll wait on the gates, and they're quite a bit stronger than regular NPCs. I don't think they do gate camps that can catch sub 2 second align frigates, but I'm not going to fly through there with all of this stuff in my hold. So what I've done is I've docked up in Kovrin, just a few jumps out of our destination, and I'm going to leave all of the valuables here. I'm going to scout out ahead, and I'm also going to burn an insta-undock from this station, because when I was docking up, I saw a Proteus sitting a few thousand kilometers away. And I mean, not every Proteus is a smart bomber, and you can't really easily smart bomb someone on the undock, but I just don't want to take any extra risk more than what I need to. So we're going to play it super cautious here. We've come so far. It's just these last 6 jumps. There's a Proteus pilot docked up here who undocks when we undock. And there's 3 systems of incursion in between us and our destination. I'm feeling pretty unsafe right now, even in Erin. So we're going to log off. I'm going to go to the grocery store. We're going to come back in a little while, and I'm going to see if I can't figure this out. This is Bill. Bill wants to build a Cynabal and join the Angel Cartel cause in Zarzak, but he's not making it easy on himself. Okay, it's been 2 hours. I'm still docked up in Kovrin. The Proteus pilot who was camping the undock is still here in system, but I've managed to burn an undock bookmark, and a trusted friend on Discord has told me that the low-sec incursion rats next door will not be able to lock my 2 second align Atron. So I'm trusting that advice. We're going to load everything that we care about in the world back into our Atron, and we're going to go for it. So incursions, if you don't know, are wandering events where extremely high-level Sanchez NPCs, in fact, very similar NPCs to the ones that killed Carmela in the Belt back in a deal, spawn in areas of space, sometimes in high, low, often in null, and then for about a week, they'll sit around causing all kinds of havoc in the system, including camping gates. They lock very quickly, and unlike players, they don't have the 1 second delay on your gate cloak, so they can start trying to lock you as soon as you appear on grid. But I'm taking my friend's word for it that I'll be able to warp off of this grid, even though there are all of these super dangerous NPCs sitting here trying to kill me. Now our destination is set to Ausmert, but in fact we're in a whole cluster of 0.1 systems here. We want to find somewhere that has a good station we can build in. I was thinking about heading over to Ausmert because it's a little bit further from Stackmon, but in fact, if Albers is sufficiently quiet, I would actually rather live here. We have generally more mobility from Elbrus, and there's some really good stations in system. If we take a look at the stations that are here, there's Concord stations in system, there's Impro factories which provide research, and there's both Imperial Armaments and Federation Navy stations, both of which have not only manufacturing services, but will sell a huge variety of blueprints. So you know what? I think that I might actually set up in 5.5. Elbrus seems pretty quiet right now. It seems quiet on Dotlan. We're going to temporarily set up in Elbrus 5.5, and then if things start to look hairy here over the next day or two, maybe when the incursion ends, then we'll consider moving over to Ausmerkt. There's only 2 jumps away. Before we make any final decisions, I'm going to take a quick look at the blueprints that are available here. Whoa, all of this available in this station? This honestly seems like a pretty good home for us. What we're going to do is we're going to take all of our valuables out of our hold, and we're going to take a quick look at the station exterior as well. Make sure it's not a kickout station, maybe burn an insta undock. You can't really call a system home until you've made a full set of bookmarks, and now we have several undocked bookmarks, a dock bookmark, a handful of safes, including this one, which is way off D-scan from everything, as well as being not in direct line of warp between anything, really. Pretty good. So here it is, Elbrus 0.1 in the region of Placid. Our home is Elbrus 5 Moon 5, the Federation Navy assembly plant. Right next door to our home station is a Concord logistics support, which will buy clone soldier tags. Can we come across any? Elbrus is 0.1. Gare next door is 0.1. Barlagut next door is 0.1. And it's 0.1 systems for several jumps in pretty much every direction. We also have a route down to Solitude, which is even quieter, although we're all alone in system here now, and we have a route out to Nullsec Syndicate, and we're closer than we were before to Kaldari Space. There's a lot to like about this region of Lowsec. And this system in particular, look at this. Something like 25 asteroid belts? We should have no problem ratting here to build up some ISK, to collect some modules, and we're going to need to start doing that very soon because we brought virtually nothing with us. So let's head home to the Federation Navy assembly plant and start really settling in. The very first thing we're going to need to do before we can start building anything is reprocess these little packages of minerals we brought with us. We're going to get 95,000 titanium, 44,000 pyrite, and a good chunk of everything else all the way down to 44 megasite. Now this reprocessing is going to cost us 222,000 ISK. We have 779,000 ISK. We're going to do this because we have to, but now we're down to pretty much 500,000 ISK. So our need to refill our coffers is urgent. In order to do that, we're going to need to build something that can handle the belts here in 0.1 space. And that means, I never thought I'd say this after I built 13 of them by accident, but it's time to build another catalyst. One run, 80,000 titanium, almost all of our titanium. Job cost 38,000 ISK. Job duration 2 hours. Start. We will also need to build guns for it. Can't afford to build 80 of them. Can we afford to build 8? We can. And we're going to build ammunition. It's going to be a tight start. We can afford to build 300 units. We're going to need to use those 300 units to get ourselves some more reprocessable modules. This is real bootstrapping. Oh my goodness. We didn't bring any modules. This catalyst is going to be real seat of the pants. And we may have gotten ourselves a little bit more in over our head than I intended. We have no titanium left. We have 500,000 ISK. We're building a catalyst and 300 rounds. Oh, shoot. I built antimatter charge M, not antimatter charge S. Can we afford to build antimatter charge S still? Oh my goodness. How did I make that mistake? How? Well, this is real awkward. Okay. Our Atron has salvagers on it. So in case you missed it, I built antimatter charge M, 300 units, using all of our remaining titanium, every single drop of our remaining titanium. And we can't shoot antimatter charge M out of the light ion blaster ones that we're building for our catalyst. We need antimatter charge S, but we can't build even one round of it. Now, we could go out to the belts in a Reaper with civilian guns and try and get some metal scraps. But there is one more thing we can do. We've got the modules that are currently fit to air in the Atron. We're going to want to use this 5MN Mecha Warp Drive for our catalyst because it needs a prop mod. We're going to want to use this damage control for our catalyst since it's the only tank we'll have. Are these inertial stabilizers? This Capri charger? And these salvagers? We can spare them. Now let's find out how much titanium that gets us. Not much, but some. Not zero. Enough to build. Let's start by building just 10, just in case. 1,000 units of antimatter charge S in the oven. Along with the antimatter charge M. Oh my goodness, I need to read more carefully. We'll still build that. Eventually, we are hoping to build a thorax, and that antimatter charge M will be of value to us. Oh, my stupid antimatter charge M has finished building. And I have realized now that I'm planning to pull the damage control and the micro warp drive off of Aaron to put on the new catalyst. But if I build a small ancillary current router, I can also pull the shield extender off of Aaron to put on the catalyst. And building a small ancillary current router does not cost any titanium. So we're going to do that. And, in fact, because of the power grid boost from the ancillary current router, we can also, at the same time, fit a small hybrid burst aerator for extra damage. So we're going to do that too. I'm feeling pretty good about our outlook in the belt once all this is finished building. Okay, meet Cassie. We've managed to cobble together an almost reasonable looking catalyst. We've got the shield extender, the micro warp drive, and the damage control that we pulled off of Aaron the Atron. We built 8 blasters and enough antimatter S to fill them once. We have 40 antimatter charge S in reserve. Then we were able to build a full set of rigs and 2 nanofibers because they don't use any titanium to build. We are basically out of titanium. And we're basically out of ISK. We have 486,000 ISK. So we need Cassie to earn us some ISK and to kill some things that drop hopefully something we can reprocess into titanium, or else we're going to be in big trouble. We've relocated a long way from home and we did not bring very much. Maybe we didn't bring enough. That said, if we do die, our home station is still set to Mannar. If we die and get podded, or if we die and self-destruct our pod, we will wake up back in Mannar where we have a bunch of spare catalysts and a bunch of extra modules, and we can start rebuilding from there. But I'm really hoping I'm really hoping that Cassie is going to pull through for us, and we're going to find that this bootstrap endeavor here in Albris is actually quite a bit easier because of all of the BPOs that we've brought with us. All we need to do is find like one of those warp disruption field generators and we'll be off to the races. So let's go. So I said let's go, but we're not actually let's going in Cassie straight away, because I am hugely paranoid after we lost Carmela in those belts to those Diamond Sancha rats. Diamond rats are a special class of NPCs that are super tough. They're scaled up to PvP-like players and have capabilities like highly skilled PvP-fit player ships. You'll see them most often in belts as mining operations. Now, the diamond miners, of course, aren't really any more dangerous than a player miner normally would be. But if you attack those mining operations, then a huge PvP response fleet flies in, and that's what killed us. We didn't attack the miners. Somebody else had, and spawned them in that belt. If you warp to a belt that's had a PvP response fleet of diamond rats spawn at it, then it's very unlikely you're getting off of that grid alive. That specific scenario happening is super rare. It's super rare, but right now we don't want to take that risk. Now, the nice thing about those diamond rats is they can actually be seen on D-scan. So I've brought out Grim Reaper 10, the Reaper Corvette, just to do an initial assay of what's going on out here before we put Cassie at risk. There are no players in space. There's one other player in local. Okay, we are going to want to be concerned about him. We're going to want to be cautious about Reps Zex because he is a player from 2008 with a negative security status. But I don't see him on scan. Now you'll see there are diamond rats on D-scan, but only the miners. So as long as we leave these guys alone, they should leave us alone. I think it's time. I feel comfortable going back to our station, picking up Cassie, and coming to run some of these Albras 8 asteroid belts. Okay, so because I'm in maximum caution mode, I did look up Reps Zex's kill board, and at first I was thinking that maybe he wasn't so scary because he has almost 0 solo kills. We haven't really talked about how you read a Z kill page, but I'll pull his up now. So the first thing you're going to look at up top is how many kills they've had versus losses. And basically anyone who has killed more ships than they have lost is someone who is actively engaging in PvP. So that's one thing. When you see somebody who's got like a bunch of losses and like 1 kill, they may have gotten on that kill by accident. The chances that they're hunting you are very low. But Rep Zex here has 980 destroyed ships and 312 lost. That's not, you know, inherently super scary, but it suggests that Reps here is engaging in PvP on purpose. The next thing you're going to want to look at when it's just the one pilot in local is what percentage of those kills they've gotten are solo kills. Now for Reps, 99% of his kills are not solo, which means the chances that this one guy is going to come and try and solo our Catalyst is actually pretty low. He might be out for his first solo roam, risk can't be 0, but this is not his usual modus operandi. He's not wandering around low sec trying to kill things by himself. So that got me thinking, okay, probably it's pretty safe to operate with him here in system. But then I was like, well, you know, let's take a look at actually some of his kills. So we can glance down here at his top ships, and we see that he flies sabers a lot, so it's like, okay, he's probably fighting in nullsec, camping gates, roaming with gangs. But then I also saw a few more low-sec type ships, like the Executor Navy Issue and the Kikimora, and I was like, okay, we should at least look and see what he's been flying recently. And his most recent kill is just a couple of jumps away in Aegis, and he killed a Dominic's Navy Issue. There were 9 pilots on this kill. And here is Reps Zex. He did 0 damage. He's on the kill with a Stiletto and a Warp Disruptor 2, which means he was initial tackle. He warped in on this Dominic's Navy Issue, He got it pointed, and he had no guns fit, but he was fast enough and agile enough that he could hold that Dominic's down until his gang came. Now, if we're in the belts, and Rep Zex lands on our catalyst with a stiletto, and he just warp disrupts us, there is nothing we can do. We're never going to catch that stiletto. We're never going to apply a single point of damage to it. And the fact that it's just Rep Zex and system doesn't matter, because he can hold us for 20 minutes until his fleet comes. So you know what? We're going to wait until Reps Zex leaves system before we take Cassie out to the belts. I do this a lot. When I see a character in system that I'm concerned about, especially if they're an older character and have a negative security status, I'll pull up their Z-Kill page. You can tell a lot just from how much red versus green there is on the first page of their Z-Kill. You can look and see what they've been flying recently, and you can look and see what sort of PvP they engage in, and that will tell you, based on your circumstances, whether right now is an appropriate time to be concerned about this person. Right now is an appropriate time to be concerned about this person. Now, Reps Zex has left system, and it's just us and Glendoon, who's apparently a fan of the channel. He's chatting at us in local. And aside from the fact that he seems friendly, looking at his Z-Kill, I think that we don't have to worry too much about Glendoon. So we're going to undock, and we are going to get to the belts and start using Cassie to actually build ourselves up to something that can carry us forward to a victorious life here in Placid. Mart Pilber, your guest wins you a Cynabal. I'll be in touch with a private message on YouTube so I can get your in-game name and set up the contract. Congratulations.